But you posted something, and I want to go back to this because I felt like it was like such a profound thing. I think it was part of your birthday lessons, like the things that you've learned that was so good. One of them was every good idea isn't yours to execute. And I felt like, is she talking to me? Because the moment I get a good idea, I'll be like, ooh, I need to do it, and I need to do it today.
Yeah.
Like right now. How did you learn that lesson the hard way? Like, how did you come to that conclusion and like help? Because that's such a thing.
Yeah, I learned it from a few ways. I learned it from burning myself out because I just had this tendency, right? You free up, you get overwhelmed, you take things off your plate to free up yourself.
And then you add
only to be like,
things.
you know what? I got capacity to do this thing. I had this idea and it's brilliant. Like, we got the space to do it. Like, let's do it. I am continuously editing like myself. 2 weeks ago, I created a journal, and it's like, and I was like, girl, who doing this launch and who doing this rollout?
You know?
Every idea is not like your idea to execute, and it could be an amazing idea. And I have to tell that to some of my friends who like, I came up with this like 5 years ago, and now look, somebody's executing. That might be their idea to execute. You're doing great at what you're doing. Clearly, like that wasn't the thing that was going to be your next thing. That wasn't going to be your amazing thing. And it's just like, you can have great ideas. Like, yes. But you have to ask yourself, do I have capacity? Does my team have the bandwidth? Do I even want to sustain this? What is this doing for me that I need done in my life? Like, what really is it? What is this doing? And now I check myself, like, is this ego? Is this like an ego play?
Do I think I just got to do it all?
Do we got to do it for like a claim? Like what we doing this
Yeah.
for? Like, does it add to the quality of your life? Does it add to the mission? Or is this an ego play? And so I think that it's important to ask ourselves that. I bought a company 2018. I bought a e-commerce company because I was like, yeah, you know, I want to scale so and so and so. That e-commerce company, like,
It almost took you out. It's a thing.
I didn't like the inventory management and the customer service.
Was it drop ship?
No. We held inventory and we were the one we distributed.
Oh shit!
And so it was just like,
I just knew you was drop shipping.
No.
Okay.
And I was like, and it got to the point where I didn't even want to check that inbox.
I know.
Because it was
you.
like, what do you want me to do if the USPS didn't deliver? I gave it to them.
Girl,
what do you want
I
me
had to
do?
fire myself from customer service because it's like I was borderline cursing people out without using curse words.
Like, call the post
That is
office.
stressful.
But it just goes back to say, like, like that did not change the trajectory of my life. That company,
Right.
That company, I closed it. Like, nothing. Literally, it's like a experience had, but
You learn some lessons and then
it wasn't necessary. It wasn't necessary. And so I think that it's important to understand, like, when you get ideas, go back to what your core values are and go back to what your personal mission statement is. And does this thing align with those, or is it an ego play? Is it a money grab? Or is it something that, you know, like, it's a great idea, but it just ain't mine?
Yeah.
And that's okay. Give it to somebody else. Like, girl, I was thinking about doing this, but I don't have the capacity. You got more time on your hands.
yeah.
I know you're trying to leave your job. This might be a good hair. I did the research. Everything was ready to roll it out.
Take it and
here
go.
you go. Don't even give me a percentage. Like, that's a blessing to you. You know?
I want my percentage. But you know what? I feel like part of my, this is going to sound really bad, but I feel like part of my challenges have been having money to do things. I feel like when I didn't have no money, I was much more like strategic, and I took my time because I had no choice. I had no money. But when you just got money to do stuff, you can make bad decisions because you have money.
Or access to credit.
Yes.
And
it's
that's
like, you don't need
another
to do
thing.
that.
Like, that's one of the reasons why, I mean, I know how to build business credit, but I'm not, like, I'm very mindful of who I teach how to build business credit, because if you don't know how to edit your ideas.
Will you teach me?
What, how to build business credit?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's yeah.
I like to ask people stuff on camera.
It is
so I'm
easy.
like, girl, let me play this back. You said you was going to help me.
It's you know, I mean, I built business credit for
it's not hard. It's just
three businesses.
The process. You got to do this account. You got to do 3 of these accounts. You got to wait 6 months.
but there's a way, like there's a shortcut.
Okay, we'll talk offline.
You can sign up for.
Wink.
Yeah, we'll get you situated.
Okay.
You don't have business credit?
I got a little bit.
I'm like, Corey, I don't know what your idea is, girl.
I got a little bit. I'm not gonna go crazy. Okay. You can trust me.
Because that's the thing, is like people are getting like these large lines of business credit to fund these ideas they're not ready to follow through on, but that bill is still due.
Yes.
Like you still have to pay that. I mean, I know some people say like just go bankrupt and close it.
Hell no. You don't have to worry about me doing that. I won't do that.
You know, so that's another thing. It's just like when you have the money,
you blow it.
Listen, buy the whole business because the money was there.
Yeah.
Developed a product line for the business, everything. Developed a body care line, and now it's going to my Airbnb. Like, well,
you pivoted. You can still.
I pivoted. We were filling up the body wash container. I was like, we're gonna take this body wash, and they're gonna use Club Blue for body wash in this Airbnb, and they can buy it if they want to.
Yes.
Off my personal store.
So you're gonna make it make sense.
Yeah.
So how do you know when it's time to pivot? Because I think that is such a tough position for a lot of people to be, especially when you're passionate about something. We can be passionate about some stuff that is like totally not for us, totally not profitable, totally stressing us out, and we don't want to let it go because we've built this thing, or we're known for this thing, or people expect this thing from us. When do you know that it's time to pivot?
For me, it's a personal feeling. It's like, ooh, like I love it, but I'm exhausted by it. I'm not enjoying this the way I once did. And it's the systems are set up for me to pivot. So let me be honest. Like, I didn't step away from my Fab Finance until I can afford a social media manager, till I had an assistant, till I had a customer service person. Who's doing an amazing
job, by the way, because that thing is still
going
strong. Yes.
It really is. So I didn't pivot until and I knew I didn't want to abandon it. So I didn't pivot until there were people there to operate it, and we had solid systems in place, and like everybody is a smooth running machine where I didn't have to check in. Because now it's to the point where I barely have to check in. I'd be like, oh, we sent a newsletter out this morning. Oh, good job.
Isn't that a great feeling? Like somebody's doing some shit.
I'll see a post up and like, Kristen, that post you did today, like, girl, I'm detached from the day-to-day functions of the business. My job now is to go out and get money, so I knew that that's when I was ready to pivot, when I was feeling like I needed to pivot. I started my Fab Finance in 2013. Almost 10 years.
Almost 10 years.
It's only so many budgets I'm willing to talk about. Like, there are other people, and they are career financial educators. That is not in alignment with my core values. I like variety. I like doing different things. I like learning different things. And so I realized, okay, now it's time to move to the next thing. You've proven to yourself that you can build something and stick with it. Let's go build the next thing.
And it's done, like, it's repaid you. It's done. So I mean,
changed my life.
You do TV frequently, because I be trying to be the Latoya. She be like, no, I'm taping TV shows. And it be all the time. She always taping TV shows, doing the things. So that just goes to show, like, the investment. You're getting a return on your investment.
It changed my life. It did. And one of the things that also let me know that it's time to pivot, I didn't care to do things that kept us relevant or that will keep us relevant. Y'all can do that, but Tanya's not making 3 videos for TikTok.
Yes.
I'm not.
Yes.
Like, these Instagram reels, matter of fact, y'all gonna get less reels from me because I'm tired of Instagram. So I also had to realize, if I'm not willing to do what's necessary to remain competitive in that space, this might be a signal to you that it's time for you to do something that you're excited about being competitive in.
Yeah.
And so, and then God, like, really honestly asking God and like talking, like following your intuition. When you feel away, like, let me sit down and get still and listen to what, and talk to your trusted advisors. I was at ClickFunnels, and I remember I was kind of like,
first of all, that was amazing. Was that your first time?
No, that was my second time. It was a great conference.
Amazing. It was.
He knows how to do a conference.
He does.
I'm going back next year.
Me too.
Don't even know if I'm in digital marketing.
I already paid my money.
It was a great conference, but I remember last year I was on a mission, right? So I was on my mission to have my first $1 million year, like in a single year.
Did that.
So like did it. And did. So I was on a mission. So like I went there in a very different space than coming back and being like, I feel like I'm in a transition and I feel weird. I feel out of place because I'm not here and I'm not mission oriented here. I'm just flowing. And that felt very weird for me because I'm so used to being focused on one thing, to the point where I was in the room, I was like, girl, you depressed? Like, what is happening right now? Go down and talk to people. And I'm glad that I did, because a lot of my colleagues were there, and I pulled up like one of my friends. There. We sat in a room. We laid out a whole new plan, and I trust him. And that's the other thing about pivoting, is like having people around that you can talk to, be like, I think I've done what I want to do in this, and I want to do something else. Like, I don't need your permission, but I trust you. What are your thoughts? And when they be like, girl, you don't. you done wrote this out.
Yes.
You done wrote it out. Like, nobody gonna say you gave up too early.
Yes, you've done it. You have done it. You've done the thing.
Literally, I ain't gonna toot my own horn, but
Toot it, girl.
your girl done did stuff.
You've
Like,
done
in personal finance,
Yes.
I've done more than I thought that I would in that space.
Mm-hmm.
Like, self-published my own Amazon bestseller. Like, been in every major publication, like Forbes, Vogue, Essence, Ebony, like Women's Day. To the point where people call me now, New York Times, Wall Street Journal. People call me, I'll be like, no, I don't have time.
You have the power to say no.
It's been beautiful, and My Fat Finance really changed my life and showed me my power. And sometimes you need things to show you how powerful you are.